Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 372.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about a listener question, which was, Linda, what is the quickest way to become a millionaire? Well, I'm not for get-rich-quick schemes, but I do want to explain to you that there are some ways that can help facilitate you becoming a millionaire faster. And so that's going to be the subject of this podcast today. So let's first talk about what creates wealth. As you know, I've talked about the 6 steps to wealth and the process of wealth creation. But of those 6 steps, the one thing that matters the most is the rate at which you compound money. That's step 5, compounding at a high rate. It doesn't really matter how much money you have to start with or how little money you have to start with, because if you have a high enough compounding rate, that's how wealth is created. And we can see that right now with an example I don't really like to use, but I will use just because it's happening all around us right now, which happens to be the Bitcoin investment, if you can call it that. So people are finding that Bitcoin has provided tremendous compounding rates. And that's why you hear these stories of people putting a little bit in years ago and then all of a sudden it growing to a very large number. That's because of the compounding rate. So that's exactly my point, that it didn't take them much money. It was a very small amount of money perhaps. But the compounding rate was so extraordinarily high that that is what brought them to millionaire status quickly. Now, I'm not endorsing Bitcoin, don't get me wrong. I'm simply stating what has happened in the past. I don't know what's going to happen going forward, and a lot of those compounding rates are probably slowing down over time, which is what happens. You don't normally compound at exorbitant rates forever, because whoever did that would be the richest person in the world very quickly. Remember, go back to Warren Buffett, who became one of the richest men in the world, and over time his compounding rate right now is 21.6%. So even a consistent 21.6% is enough to make someone the richest person or one of the richest people in the world. So this Bitcoin phenomenon and the high level of compounding has propelled it forward, but who knows? Who knows if it will continue? Certainly the risks are so high you could lose everything. It could turn out to be something that is hacked. It could be outlawed. We don't know what the future of that is. So please, I'm not endorsing Bitcoin. I'm simply saying that this has been happening around us, and it's my point about compounding that actually is proven to be true. Now, let's look for a more traditional way of wealth building, and that is investing in the stock market, which over time, about 80 years, has roughly averaged about a 10% average annual return, which is more than enough to create wealth for you. So the compounding rate doesn't have to be exorbitant. Let's also talk about businesses that are created, because when I look at the Forbes 5,000 list of fastest growing companies, those are the smaller growing companies, some of those have grown at thousands of percent per year for many years in a row. And if they become public and are traded on the stock market, then that's something you can invest in too, and you can benefit from that. And many people certainly have built wealth through some companies that have grown very fast, such as Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, the typical FANG stocks, but there's many others too. And there's many more that in the future are going to grow into big companies. And it's not a mystery how that happens. And one of the things that always amazes me is somehow people don't see the investment opportunities that are right around you. And in fact, sometimes you're a part of, because you're probably buying that product or using that service. If it's, some new trend, like maybe ordering meals to be delivered to your home, if suddenly, a great majority of people adopt that as part of their everyday life, then the growth there could be enormous. And you might be participating in ordering some of those meals. Or there could be new technology that comes into being that we all use, a new social media platform or some other hand device that is a computerized something or other, whether that's GPS, whether that's a phone, whether that's internet, whatever it is. Maybe it's virtual reality, maybe it's AI, whatever that is, artificial intelligence. It is unlimited in terms of what's around us that might be possible for you to invest in. And it doesn't have to be technological, although that is a very fast growing area. It can be green energy, which is another really fast growing trend right now. It could be something like electric cars, which could be a game changer in the future. It could be those escape rooms, which are sprouting up all over the country, and people are finding them to be very entertaining, where you go and you have to escape from them. It could be, additional Airbnb type operations that you're allowed to rent out rooms in your house and create extra income, or you're vacationing differently. It could be new financial services products. It could be life extension. It could be anti-aging. There's so many things happening right now in so many areas, but one thing's for sure, you're going to be aware of these things. You're going to be either a customer or aware that it exists. So it's not like it's going to happen in secret, or it's not something that you're aware of. You just have to focus your attention and give your investment radar a little bit of extra ability to see what's going on, what's popular, what the new trends are, where you're spending your money. Because if it's a big thing, and if it's going to be a big thing, then a lot of people are going to be using it and talking about it. Case in point, Netflix. Look at how great Netflix has done in terms of growing their audience. I still don't have Netflix, but lots of my friends do, and they're always razzing me about not having it. But they're talking about the shows on Netflix. Do you watch this? Do you watch that? And they're talking a lot about Netflix. So it's not surprising to me that Netflix has been a superstar stock. So these are the things that you want to start listening for in conversation, in advertising, on television, in print, online. You want to start being aware and increase your investment awareness of what's going on so that you can identify those wealth building opportunities that can compound at a higher rate, and you can participate in those. I really encourage you that for the long run, you find companies that have the ability to grow for a long time at a very high rate, and that is where you want to invest your money. But please do it in something that is legitimate, something that is not completely speculative, something that is really an investment, not a speculation. So those are the things to look for. And I think that it's so important to understand that it's really the rate that you compound at that is the key to wealth building. And you will see your wealth grow. If you like this podcast, this is very similar to some emails that I've been putting out. Just short emails about what's going on with wealth building, some wealth building tips, some things that are easy to put into practice. It coincides with what I teach on the podcast. So if you'd like to get wealth building tips from me in your inbox, just go to lindapjones.com and sign up for my 11 quick financial tips to boost your wealth. That will put you on my email list, and you'll get once a week a short wealth building idea. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.